Welcome everyone. It's great to see you all here, and a very warm welcome to Munta Amira. So as I say, it's a great pleasure and honour of mine to be welcoming Munta, and we'll be having a conversation here today about a whole range of very important issues, really. And I'll just say a little bit about Munta. He's a human rights defender, the director of the board of the AIDA Youth Centre. So Munta's from the AIDA refugee camp near Bethlehem, and the AIDA Youth Centre has been established since 1968, and that's one thing that Munta will be talking about. We'll be also hearing some more music a little bit later on from some of the young women who attend the youth centre, and there's something quite wonderful to see there. Munta's also the coordinator of the Popular Struggle Coordination Committee, and popular resistance to popular struggle is a subject that Munta will be talking about today. And he's a social worker, and he was the General Secretary of the Palestinian Union of Social Workers and Psychologists. And he was in that role when I first met Munta, and with a group of other social workers. I visited Palestine in 2011, and some of those social workers are here with us in the cafe today. And we met social workers right across Jerusalem and Palestine and the West Bank. And I met Munta then, and I met Munta briefly again the following year in 2012, and I managed to record a little mini conversation. It was about 2 minutes long, actually, when Munta was able to send his greetings to the social workers at the launch event for the Palestine UK Social Work Network, which was in Durham in England in 2012, that launch event. So that was about a 2-minute conversation. So it's just fantastic that we'll be having about an hour or so to talk. And after Munta and I have had our conversation, we'll open it up. I'm sure there'll be people who have questions they'll want to ask Munta. So some of the things that Munta will be talking about is the effect of the occupation on people living in AIDA refugee camp, the violence of the occupation, and also the non-violence of the popular resistance, which Munta is right in the centre of. And as part of my introduction of Munta, I want to just show a little brief clip from YouTube, which in 45 seconds shows both the violence of the occupation and the non-violence of a part of the resistance to it.
Hey, 10 دقائق 10 دقائق انت بتتكلم قول زاد اللي معكب وطا قول زاد اللي معكب وطا قول زاد قول زاد الكلام اللي معكب وطا تاخده 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 دي تاخده تاخده هي هي هاي بديش اروح بديش اروح لا ما تعرفش هيك اخوة خاف شوي دي انا يشخر اوتو.
So I believe the boy there was 6 years old, Munta, I believe. So Munta will be talking to us more about the experience of the violence of the occupation and the resistance to it, as well as about the daily life in AIDA camp, and about the history of the camp and the people who live there. And so I'm going to show another video clip, actually, to lead us to my first question to Munta, which be about the experience of being a refugee. And those of you who have been to AIDA camp or seen any films about it are likely to have seen the quay of return. And this is a very large quay, which is above the main entrance to the camp. And I'm going to show the first just under a minute of a news report of when the quay of return went to Berlin for the Berlin Biennale Art Festival. I think it was in 2012.
A huge key that weighs approximately a ton and symbolizes the right of return for Palestinian refugees was transported from the Aida refugee camp in Bethlehem to the Berlin Biennial in Germany. The key, which is 9 meters long and has inscriptions in several languages, started its journey in March when it was dismounted from its place on top of the camp gate. The steel key was made by Palestinian refugees at the Aida Social Youth Center in Bethlehem. For center manager Munzar Amaira, displaying the key in Berlin gives Palestinians a chance to communicate their aspirations to the world. Temporary peace agreements between Palestinians and Israel have often overlooked the issue of the return of refugees, whose numbers are estimated at 4.5 million. The majority are living in refugee camps and neighboring.
So sorry, I just stopped that. I paused the video about a few seconds before I intended to. So the majority of refugees are living in refugee camps in neighbouring countries. So if everyone can remain muted, that'd be really helpful. And if Munter, if you could unmute yourself, if you would. And I don't know if everyone knows about the different ways you can view a Zoom meeting. There's 2 ways. There's gallery view and speaker view. So I'm looking at gallery view at the moment, which is I've got a sea of faces across the screen. And if I just click to speaker view, I'll just see the one person mainly who's speaking. So if you want to just focus on Munter and what Munter is about to start telling us about, if you want to pick speaker view. So Munter, I see you're unmuted. So that was just, a brief report about the key of return. Can you tell us more about the key of return? And it's in the story of it and its importance to the people of Aida camp.
Yes, hi everyone. Yes, I'm Munzar Amira. There's something missing with presenting me. I'm from originally from a village called Diraban. Before I'm a refugee from Aida refugee camp. So my family came from a village have been destroyed in 1948 called Diraban. 1948, more than 536 Palestinian villages have been destroyed. So many people just carried their keys and ran away because of the massacres have been done at that period. More than 58 massacres have been done in 1948. So killing people, rape women, killing small children cause very big threat to the Palestinians, and they start being more and more afraid about themselves, their families. So a lot of these families, they just closed their houses and ran away. So they took the keys with them, thinking that they will return back one day to their home. So from here, the idea of the key came after 60 years of Nakba, the catastrophe of the Palestinian people. We start thinking what we can do. It's not just we are going to celebrate the Nakba, our catastrophe. It's a pity that at that period we used to celebrate the Nakba. So we try to do something useful to tell the people that we are here. After 60 years, we are living as refugees. Even we have the UN resolution 194. So we came with the idea to do the biggest key. Put it into the entrance of our refugee camp, Aida. So we did it, yes, we succeed to have the biggest key, but it was not easy to do the scheme. So it reminds us every single day that we are away from our homeland, which is one of our goals. But the most important goal was to tell the people that we are here, living as refugees, waiting for the UN to implement its the 194 resolution and a lot of resolutions that gave the Palestinian refugees to return back for their home. Yes, we have the stories of the key. One of the stories, taking the key to the Biennale as an artistic piece to Germany. The huge key, we are taking it to Germany. So it starts being crazy that yes, we succeed. We are telling the people about our story in Germany, using the art in the struggle. One of the things that we discovered that we can struggle even through art, through doing this key. So we have this proposal to take the key to the Biennale. You know, at the beginning, we refused to take the key. It was very big decision to take it, and we took it. And I want to share you the story when we took, on the same day, we took the key to Germany. We did the celebration and we brought the key down into the truck. So a group of the girls of the center came and they brought like flowers. They start throwing the flowers toward the key. And they start crying. Wow. And some people start coming, they start writing their names, their grandfather's names. Some people wrote their villages' names that have been destroyed in 1948. And they were crying. They were not happy that we succeed to take the key to the Biennale. So I was shocked. So I collected the people, my friends that they are part of the event. And I told them, I don't want to send the key to the Biennale. This key is not just a piece of iron or a piece, an artistic piece that we are sending to the Biennale. That's it. It starts being like a piece of us. The people are crying. They don't want the key to go out. So at the end, it was like a general voting for all the people. You are crying, you are leaving the key. If you have to take a decision, I could not take this decision alone. I will not send the key. So from that moment, yes, maybe it's before, but from that moment, it was not. It started being part of us. It's not just a piece of iron. Because of that, we were waiting for the key to return back from Berlin to Aida. And now we will not even, we have a lot of invitation to the key to send the key for other places. One of them was to take the key to France, to the Fête d'Humanité. It's a very big festival. So we refused because khalas, the key is here. If we will take the key for any place, it will be to return back for our homeland. That's it.
So Munter, can I just want to say to everyone, when Munter and myself have been planning today, I know Munter could speak for an hour or more on every topic that we want to talk about. So Munter gave me permission to come in sometimes and interrupt and ask Munter to talk about a particular story. Could you tell the story of Abu Ibrahim, the old man, yes, and the key?
Yes. Abu Ibrahim, one of our old people who used to live in the original villages before 1948. And I got the idea to do this big key from Abu Ibrahim. Abu Ibrahim used to go on the demonstrations on the anniversary of Nakba always with his key. Nobody saw Abu Ibrahim's key. So I discovered the key of Abu Ibrahim. So from Abu Ibrahim, I took the idea to do the biggest key. So, through doing the key, I used to take Abu Ibrahim to come and to see how we are doing the key. This is the picture of Abu Ibrahim one day when he was coming to see that the key is a real key, big one. And Abu Ibrahim used to come with us to the demonstrations. If you can bring another picture to Abu Ibrahim while he was in the demonstration, carrying the key with him. On the day that we brought the key from Dheisha refugee camp to Aida. Aida is on the north side of Bethlehem, the close place to Jerusalem, very close to our original villages. So Abu Ibrahim participated with us, bringing the key to Aida. And he was rushing to all the way from Dheisha to Aida, walking. We asked him to be on the car with us. We were walking. to be on the car, he refused. So he was all the way walking until we reached Aida, where we will settle the key. So Abu Ibrahim came and asked me, he asked me, I want to have a speech. We the Palestinians, always we have long speeches. So we have to organize ourselves. So I asked Abu Ibrahim, inshallah, let us just organize ourselves and you will have the floor. He said, no way, I want to speak. So again, Abu Ibrahim, we have visitors and you have your place and you will have, you will have your time to speak. He said, no way. So at the end, I have nothing to speak to Abu Ibrahim. We have the inspiration from Abu Ibrahim, so I have to give him the floor. So I told Abu Ibrahim, welcome. You can have the floor and you can speak. So Abu Ibrahim came and took the key, and he gave the key as a necklace for his grandchild. And he said, now I can rest in peace. There are people who took the responsibility of the key. So again, it was emotional moments for all of us. But till now, it was okay for us. Abu Ibrahim gave the key to his grandchild after 1 week. What we were afraid from happened. Abu Ibrahim died after 1 week of putting the key and putting very heavy responsibility on our shoulders. Abu Ibrahim died. So this is one of the stories and the main story of the key, that it is not just a piece of metal, it's our dream. The key is our biggest dream. Taking the key, return back to our homeland, open our home is one of our main goals that have been put in our shoulders. Because of that, I'm so happy that we have the key in Aida, because every single morning our people will saw the key and they will remember that we are not from here. We will not continue our lives in a refugee camp. So this is the story of Abu Ibrahim, which was one of the most important stories. This picture shows the villages that we came from in Aida. We came from 27 several villages. Imagine that people are living here in Aida. They came like 400 people. We are now, the people in the camp, 5,000 people. We have another at least 15,000 people. They are living outside the camp. So I will go back even to the video that guys show, the video of the child have been arrested. This is the daily life of all the Palestinians here in Palestine. Not just as a human rights defender, as a father, and as someone who's living there looking to the soldiers every day attacking the people.
Can I just,
yeah.
Sorry, Munta, sorry to interrupt. Just before you start talking in more detail, about the everyday life and the soldiers and so on, can I just take, because you mentioned where you're from and where your family's from, and I think, is it, so near the bottom of that list, Deir Aban?
Yeah, I'm from a village called Daraban.
Daraban, yeah. Could you just say a little more about your own family experience and your own feelings about where you're from? Because you know, in a sense, you corrected me when I introduced you and said you're from Aida camp, and I think you said no, you're from Deir Aban.
I'm living in Aida, yes.
Yes, you're living there.
Originally, I'm from Daraban. This is what we are teaching our children to do. My family came, my father, when he came, he was just 2 years old from Daraban. He came with his mother and father, and my grandfather and my grandmother passed away. My father passed away. You know, we are the third generation here living in the camp. It was not an easy life. The people saw the concrete houses now in the refugee camps, especially the Palestinian refugee camps in the West Bank, thought that, yes, we are living in a concrete houses. But we spent till now 72 years suffering from the occupation, suffering from every single details of our life. Imagine that we started our life in tents. For so many years, we used to live in tents. And I would say that my dream to be there and to continue living in tents, not to convert living in, to start living in a concrete houses. And it was one of the bad things that happened to us. For my family and all the families of the refugee camps, imagine that the US government came and started building shelters for us. And we accept. It was one of the most important mistakes that happened, that we did not refuse to live in concrete houses, in these shelters. We agree. I don't know if there were a Palestinian leadership at that period to refuse or to agree, but the people agreed to continue their lives in the concrete houses, in these shelters. After that, they have better houses. Each family, they start being bigger and bigger. They start building their own houses. If you would come to the camp, you will see a real concrete houses that we are living in. This is one of the things that, if I would be there, I would not agree to start living in the shelters. I will continue my life in a tent, or to return back for my village. But even though we reached here, we will not accept our situation and the life here. But we are trying to deal with the life in the camp. We are trying to go through two tracks. The first one, we want to live as anyone. We are improving our life. We are trying to teach our children music. We have football. team. We have very good education for our children. We are insisting to give them good education, good facilities, health facilities. So this is the first track. The second one, no, we are telling them that we are living under occupation and we will not accept this occupation anyway. And we are struggling day and night to end this occupation.
So Munter, can I come in at this point and just invite you to talk a bit more about the occupation in some detail and the effect on you? Perhaps I could show the video clip of showing the tear gas and some of the specific incidents and the people who have been killed in the camp, and then just ask you to talk more about that. So another clip from YouTube. Sorry, folks, I'm just giving you one moment.
No, it's okay.
Oh. Sorry, I'm just pressing lots of buttons. So yeah, it's about a minute and a half of video here. Taken in Ida camp.
الفترة الأخيرة انطلق كثير غاز على بيوت المخيم من دون سبب، لدرجة إنه في كثير ناس سكرت الشبابيك بالخشب لأنه الجيش بطخ الغاز بشكل مباشر على البيوت. في 2014 استشهدت نهى قطامش من الغاز، و2015 ضربوا الغاز علينا وإحنا بنلعب بالحديقة من دون أي سبب، وهاي الحديقة المكان الوحيد اللي بنقدر نلعب فيه بالمخيم. مش بس بيستخدموا الغاز، كمان استخدموا مية المجاري اللي كلها مواد كيماوية برشوها على البيوت وبتضل ريحتها لفترة طويلة. في 2015 طخوا صديقنا عبد الرحمن، كان واقف هون بالضبط، طخوا قناص من دون سبب من هداك البرج.
So when I just showed Munter that video when we were preparing the other night, Munter, I think you said that was your house that they were
with the skunk water, yes,
putting the skunk water into. And just before I ask you to tell us more about this, Munter, when I was looking, researching the video clips, I read that there was a report from the University of California in Berkeley saying that Ida camp is the community most exposed to tear gas in the world. That was the report from 2017-18.
It was.
So, yeah.
It was, and it's not still, it is not till now for very important reason. Not because they start being better people, the soldiers or the occupation. It is because they arrested most of the people who are participating in the demonstrations and refusing the occupation. And they did not punish them alone. They punished their family. Imagine if you would be arrested, you will not punished alone to be in prison. Your family will pay money to the Israeli government because of that. They put bails, very high bails to the people, and even though after they will be released, they would put a new condition. If you would participate in any demonstration, if they will catch you in any demonstration, you will pay more and you will spend in prison more. I myself now, it's forbidden for me to participate in any demonstration. Imagine if they will catch me with more than 10 people, I will be taken to the Israeli jails again. And I will spend 9 months for nothing, just being with more than 10 people. For me, I'm continuing. I told the judge from the same day, I will continue my life and you can do whatever you want. But I'm trying my best not to let them catch me. I have to run every time when I saw soldiers, especially when we have activities, or to cover my face, or to, you know, to do so many things to be safe. And it's not an easy thing. Always you are afraid. I used to participate in a daily basis in demonstrations everywhere. But now I'm trying my best to be in the important ones, because I will pay a very high price for that. So I will return to the Aida and what happened. You saw the video with the child. You know, I thought that this child have a problem, psychological problems. When I saw his face, so I tried to help him and tell them that he's just 6 years old. What you are doing with him, it's crazy thing. And you know, every time I saw this video, it looks like it is the first time I saw it. But they continue to you know, to bring him, you know, catching him from his clothes, pushing him, just trying to tell them that he's just a 6 years old boy. Even according to the Israeli law, it's forbidden to arrest him. So they just took him. At the end, I spent 1 day with them. At the end, they released me, but it was the whole time threatening me. And at the end, you know, this threat came out to my family. One of the things that they have done, like you saw the skunk water. They came and they with nothing. The demonstration was on the street. On the other side, they came to my window, to my daughter's room, and they start putting this skunk water into her bedroom. And you know, till now she's suffering from asthma because of this skunk water. You know, it took us like 1 month to clean the house from the skunk water. So this is the occupation we accept, and we will continue. We will continue struggling against this occupation. We will not again have a new Nakba. Even they are putting us under very high pressure. We will not live the Nakba again. This is our slogan.
Yeah.
We have. Yeah.
Sorry, Munter. Sorry. There was the two people who were referred to by the girl on the video who had died. There was a woman killed because of the tear gas. Can you just explain what happened there?
It is, Aida refugee camp is surrounded by walls from 3 sides. One of the activities that have been done, trying to, you know, to demolish the wall. We succeed to do like small, very small wall. They came crazy how we did this hole into the concrete that we had in the wall, and they start punishing us with the tear gas, sending the gas all over the camp. One of them was Noha Katamish. The tear gas came into her house, and it was not easy to move because she's very heavy, like more than 140 kilos. She tried to run away, she couldn't, she fall down, and 7 tear gas came into her house. So she died because of the tear gas. She was not part of the struggle. She was not part of the demonstration. They, as I told you, they are punishing the families, because if anyone from the family did something, they would punish the family. And if someone from the camp, they will punish the camp. And I saw with Guy a video that an Israeli jeep came into the camp and start threatening us that if you would continue throwing stones, continue doing demonstrations, that we will kill you, we will kill the old people, we will kill the boys, we will kill the women.
I can share that video now, Munter, if you'd like me to.
I will be happy to
okay.
show it to the people to see how they are dealing with us.
And there was a report about this in the, sorry, I saw the comments on YouTube underneath the video. It was reported in the Times of Israel, I think, that this was the border police who you're about to hear, and somebody was suspended. But sorry, folks, just give me 1 second.
And this is one of the things that we succeed to record.
لحتى تموتوا على الولاد على الكبار على المسنين على اللي عم بيموت على كل شيء بدناش نخلي حدا منكم ومعنا واحد منكم وشفتوه في عينيكم اخذناه معنا لفوق وبدنا نقتله ونذبحه قدامكم اذا بدكم تضربوا احجار وبدكوش تضربوا بيوتكم برارهم عليكم غاز لحتى تموتوا على اهاليكم على اخواتكم على اولادكم على كل شيء. اسمعوا مني نصيحة أنا عم بقولكم روحوا روحوا أحسنكم. سجل دمك إخلاص أيوة بدي إياه. تعال
تقسيم عربي يا شباب. منكم لا بدرسي 48 منكم.
Thank you, Munter.
Yes, this is one of the events, or the second one with the child, that we succeed to record. But we have hundreds of things that happened worse than this that we couldn't even record or tell the people about them. This is the life under occupation. It is suffering since the first day that we start living in a tent or even living in a caves. We used to live in caves before. They try to even to take our dignity. They don't want us to live free. So threatening us, one of the things that they are doing so as to stop the struggle against the occupation, to end the occupation. I myself, the last time that I have a meeting with the Israeli Shabak officer, he told me the next time will not be you alone. We will bring Ahid. Ahid is my son with you the next time. So be careful. And what I'm doing, I'm doing a non-violence activities. This is what I'm doing here. The last time that they arrested me, it was just because I was carrying the picture of Ahd al-Tamimi asking for the freedom of Ahd. This is the only thing that I have done. Before that, I was arrested just because to stand up, trying to stop them to confiscate the land of a Palestinian farmer. So this is our life, and this is our struggle against the occupation. And it's more difficult in the refugee camp, especially in Aida. It is very close to Rachel Tomb. It's an Israeli basement, occupation base, military basement. It would take them like less than half minute to be in the camp. Hundreds of people have been, or I will say thousands of young people have been in prison till now from Aida. And yes, all these threats, but we are continuing. And I did not, yani, I don't think that they will stop us, even that they are using everything. And even now, we are not the most important place that have been targeted by the tear gas. But I would tell you, we will continue, and we will have it again, and we will continue struggling against the occupation.
So Munta, should I show at this point the video of the girl singing the song for the prisoners last year? Maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the actions that you from the Ida Youth Centre. And there's so much to show. Actually, I've got other video clips that I could show. Well, actually, Munta, just before that, I'll just to give people an idea of some of the resistance that you engage in, including outside of Ida camp. I'll just show just a minute of something you were involved in that you can explain to people.
ساعتين اوف سويت ايدك بكون واصلين جابوا لهم الدروس خصوصا
ايوه زكوا
نعطيك واحده في واحده ثانيه عليك كانت فين.
These are our lands, the Palestinian lands. We will continue our struggle, our popular struggle to have our own state.
So, Munta, you could perhaps talk about the specifics of that particular protest. But you mentioned there that you will continue with your popular struggle, and I wonder if you could just say something about popular resistance. You know, I know that you're the coordinator of the Popular Resistance Committee, and what do you mean by popular resistance?
Yes, since we are people who are living under the military occupation, it's our right to use the resistance, all kinds of resistance against this occupation, starting from the armed resistance, reaching to the popular resistance, or what we call it, the non-violence resistance. After all what passed through the struggle against the occupation, we reached this strategy. For me, I am part of this strategy, and I believe that it is one of the most effective strategies that we can through in the occupation, which we call it the non-violence resistance, the popular struggle, which started in a serious way after starting building the wall around the Palestinian cities. It started in like small cores in Bil'in, in Budros, in Kufur Kaddoum, in Nabi Saleh, in Al-Ma'sara, in South Hebron Hills. You know, it was like small spots that struggle against building the wall or against confiscating the land and stop building the new settlements. So we start gathering ourselves as activists, human rights activists, non-violence activists. We have so many names connected with this strategy. So we start, one of our big things that we start doing, like, I don't want to call them new settlements or Palestinian settlements, we start going to the targeted areas by the occupation and start putting a new Palestinian life into these lands. One of these lands was in Burin. This is from Burin, the pictures that we held in Nablus. It is near one of the most aggressive settlements. So we came there and we start building, and we brought these metal tents. We tried to put these metal tents in our land. It is Palestinian land and Palestinian property, and it's very close, you know, to Burin. Like I'm speaking, the last house 100 meters. We tried to put our new tents there, and you saw that these very aggressive settlers, they came and they start attacking us. A lot of people have been injured there. And at the end, they stole our tents and they took them to themselves. They came again and again. The last, just in the end of October, while we were trying to harvest olive there, they cut more than 150 olive trees in the same place that you saw. And we are going there every day. Every day the Palestinians are there, and every day we are trying, you know, to plant a new olive trees in this area, and we are continue struggling there. So this is one of the things that we are trying to do as a popular resistance. It's not just doing these things or to you know to build new villages like Bab al-Shams. One of the success stories of us, it was Bab al-Shams, the sun, the gate of the sun, that it is a place between Jerusalem and a settlement called Ma'ali Adumim. They were trying to confiscate the land between these Jerusalem and Ma'ali Adumim so as to connect Ma'ali Adumim, the settlement of Ma'ali Adumim with Jerusalem. So we came and did our own settlement, and we succeed till now to stop the plan to build houses between these two, between Jerusalem and Ma'ali Adumim settlement. So this is kind of the struggle that we are using. We are standing with the Palestinian prisoners. We are doing these villages, new villages, Palestinian villages like Bab al-Shams, Ahfad Yunus, Burin. We have so many activities. One of the things that we are doing, the BDS campaigns, especially in Palestine. We are running even campaigns outside Palestine, but we are trying our best to do BDS even in Palestine, which is not so easy. It's easy to do maybe BDS in any place else, but here, since we are controlled by the Israeli occupation and the Israeli economy, it is not easy to run BDS campaign and trying to boycott an Israeli products, because the market here is full of Israeli products, and sometimes we could not have alternatives. So this is one of our things that we are doing. Yes, even in the international level, we are participating to do BDS.
Yeah, can I just come in, Munter, because there's two issues there that you're referring to that are sort of being mentioned in the chat, and there's a couple of there's questions in the chat which I think you're now touching on, but you're now talking about, and one's about the Ayman has just put in the chat about the extent to which is there coordination, you know, within Palestine. Is this a movement of popular resistance? How much are you able to coordinate this? And then you also mentioned the international side, and we'll come back to the international solidarity and support later. But to what, how much is this a coordinated movement of popular resistance in Palestine?
Yeah, the good thing with the popular resistance, yes, or nearly, I would say, assume 80% of the people have their political background, but they are in the movement without any kind of political background. The only thing that we are united for is ending the occupation. Fatah, Hamas, the PFLP, Mubadara, all the people are united inside this movement. We try to do it as an organized movement. We are coordinating till now because then we have this coordination committee to coordinate between the people. But one of our goals personally to have a popular movement, as a popular movement, to be bigger and bigger, and to have more, activities on the ground and more people on the ground. Till now, it's not easy. We have, yes, day by day, it's become bigger and bigger. The people, more people participating in the activities that we are doing, but the general atmosphere in Palestine is very hard. Participating in political activities is not easy. Bringing people to the places that we have our activities is not easy because it's so dangerous. All these things that affecting us in very negative way. The people, after more than 25 years of Oslo agreement, the political movement failed to continue with the people. The division between Fatah and Hamas even affecting the people in very negative way. So all these things bring less people to be part of the movement and to continue with us. The last year, the COVID-19 affected us even in a negative way. The people are afraid to participate. So yes, we have so many things. The Arab atmosphere, the normalization between the Arab countries and Israel affected even in very negative way. So we are not in our best situation. It is the worst situation since the occupation in 1948. So we are struggling now, not just against the occupation, but maybe it's not, yeah, it's the most important, but now we are struggling to make the people stand up again, especially that they are looking around them and they found all the people are not standing with the Palestinians. Especially, I'm speaking about the Arab countries, that they are now they are having new deals with the Israeli occupation, the normalization. So we are struggling in very hard way to bring the people again to believe on their own power, not to wait to the Arab countries to come again and liberate Palestine. We have to do it by ourselves, by the good people around us, but the Arab regimes will not be part of the struggle. Maybe we have a lot of Arab people and a lot of internationals from the solidarity movement with us, yes, which will affect us in very positive way, but I believe that we have to bring the people again. We don't want the Arab regimes or the international regimes to be part of the struggle. We want the free people to be with us.
So, Munta, can I just, you mentioned COVID a few minutes ago, and Heber's just put in the chat a question about how you're coping with COVID in the camp. And I know you've talked to me about some of the activities that AIDA Youth Centre have been doing, supporting people, because of COVID. And maybe just, if we just have a bit of music at this point, and I'll just show maybe a part of the song that the girls were singing about the prisoners that was made last year near the beginning of COVID. Can you just introduce the song for us, Hunter? Where they're holding pictures of prisoners.
It was an idea that we have so many prisoners inside prison, and their families till now, since March till now, they did not visited their children. The people don't know anything about their families, especially in the isolated prisons like Hasharon, like Hadarim. They don't have any kind of connection with their families. So we start doing visits to their families, and we did this song so as to tell them your families are okay, they are safe, and we are with them. We will not leave them alone. So one of the most important things to send the message through the song, through the Palestinian national television, and we send it to the Palestinian national television to, you know, to show it through the television, so they in the prison they can see it and they will know that their families are okay. So we did this song carrying their pictures, and we called this campaign Mazyuna Bkhair. Mazyuna is one of the mothers of the prisoners from the camp who spent till now 29 years in the Israeli jails. You are showing it, yes?
Yeah, sorry, here it comes, yeah.
فجر مجد يتسامى
Sorry. That must be to do with my connection, I think. Sorry about that. Let's try it one more time. Doesn't look good. But I mean, the picture itself is very striking, and the poster at the top left, our prisoners are stuck between the occupation and Corona, free Palestinian prisoners. And the pictures are all men from Aida camp, I think, Munter.
Yeah, all of them from Aida. One picture is former one al-Barghouthi. He's one of the leaders of the prisoners. From Aida, we have some prisoners, two of them, Nasser and Mahmoud. Their anniversary was before 2 days that they spent 28 years in the Israeli prisons. So these, you know, it is part of the things that we have done. And the other side that we have done as a youth center in Haida, you know, we are not living in a normal state. We are living in the Palestinian, under the Palestinian Authority, which is under the Israeli occupation. So when the COVID started, all over the world, the states used to give the people some money so as to live. But here, we have so many families that after the COVID, they lost their jobs, and that's it. Nobody can help them. So they lost their jobs. One of the things that, the most important thing that we have done, collecting vegetables and giving for the poor families, especially in Ramadan, we have done hot meals to the poor families. We used to do more than 500 hot meals every day, sending them to the families. We have some families that they have children. We brought milk for them at least for 2 months. At the beginning, we did a survey even. It was one of the most important things that we have done. We did a survey to the whole camp to know the families. There are people who are working, who are people who lost their work at all. So yes, and we did an international campaigns and we collect some money so to do that, and we succeed with it, which was, you know, which shocked me. I thought that we will not succeed with it. So we collect some money and it helps us in very positive ways so as to continue to, you know, to help these families. So we went through both ways with the prisoners, with giving parcels to the families, and the last one, the education part that we have done. We have some people, they don't have access to the internet, they don't have computers, so we offered them a place with internet access, with computers, and with even with the small children, with the small student, like in the 2nd and 3rd, 4th grade, we had some volunteers who did, even we in the education program that we are running, they came and they did so many education work. So we did so many things that I believe that it was useful to the people, to our community. The music department here, we brought more young people, teaching them music, which affected them in a positive way, trying to help them, doing even an open activities outside the camp. You know, the life in the camp is very hard. Part of the things that bringing them outside the blockade, because we have curfew during the COVID, so the people was blocked for weeks inside the camp. So we gave them the chance to go out to the mountains. Yes, it was. It's not like, you know, in Europe, but at least, you know, to have fresh air outside the camp. Inside the camp, you will not find fresh air. So that's what we have done for the people through the COVID. It was not easy. It was very hard to run, especially for someone like me to be in the camp and to go and to do non-violence activities in the popular resistance in the places that targeted by the occupation settlers. It was very hard even to move from like Bethlehem to Ramallah or to go to Nablus because of the checkpoints. So I think we did not the things that we dreamed to do, but at least under these circumstances, it was good, and not just the you know the circumstances of the COVID. It was the problem between the Palestinian Authority and the Israeli side. The Palestinian Authority employees did not have their salaries for like 6 months, which put us into very hard place. More poverty, because the people used to share, like if I am an employee in the Palestinian Authority, I will share with my family, extended family, so I would help them. So when they cut the salaries, even the only source and some extended families stopped, and it was forbidden for the Palestinian to go inside the Palestinian occupied territories in 1948 to work. So it was very big mess. It was not easy to pass this situation.
Sure. Munter, I mean, we're heading towards, you know, the last part of our sort of time together, and I want to ask you to say something about international solidarity in a few moments, and with people here from different countries around the world. And there's people, and I'll come back to that in a moment. Just to let everyone know that I put in the chat the link to the videos on Facebook that stopped working on my computer, I think it was. So you can find it on Facebook by just clicking on that link. But Munta also sent me just a little bit of a song on WhatsApp a few nights ago that was recorded a few nights ago, and I just found it so moving. And it's something else that young people and others from IDA Youth Centre are doing, and it's relating to can you explain, Munta, about the prisoner, the 29th anniversary of the, and I'll show the clip.
Can we show the clip before? If
yeah. So that was the clip. So what was happening there, Munta? And when was that?
It was for 3 days, the anniversary, the 29th anniversary of arresting Nasser and Mahmoud. If I have the floor to speak about especially Nasser, because he was my friend at school, and I did not saw him since 26 years. I had the opportunity to see him before 2 years when I was in prison. It was bad luck that I have been taken to an isolated prison, but I was shocked that Nasser was there. So I saw Nasser. You know, Nasser was threatening us at the first of his prison, the first 5 years on his prison, that if I would spend 10 years, I will kill myself. Wow. So after I spent with him days, I asked him, I told him that you were threatening us that you will kill yourself after 10 years, but you are here now 26 years. Oh, I found Nasser that he learned to dream. He told me, Munder, I'm not seeing all these fence guards, walls. I'm out of prison sometimes. But a sad story happened with Nasser before that. He was supposed to be free, according to an agreement between Abu Mazen, Mahmoud Abbas, and Netanyahu. So the Israeli television came and asked Nasser a question, very small question. If the time will go back, would you do the same? He have two choices. You know, through all the years that he spent in the Israeli jails and be a slave and said, no, I will not do it, or to be free. He chose to be free, even inside prison. He told them, I was a soldier in the Palestinian Revolution. So whatever the Palestinian Revolution will ask me to do, I will do. You could not imagine, at that period, we prepared everything. The stage where Nasser will be in, where Mazuna, his mother, will receive him. Even you could not imagine, we bought the sweets, you know, to give the people that Nasser will be free. The next day, he have to be free. You know, they blocked him there again, and they did not release him. Till now, Nasser is there in the prison, and he's free.
And he's free
inside the prison, yes. Because imagine how ugly this occupation. This is our life, and we were not celebrating Nasser anniversary and Mahmoud. We were in his house with his mother, telling her we are with you. You know, his mother is very close to die. We are so afraid, especially with the COVID and, you know, all these things. You know, usually we are calling Nasser Mazyuna. We are not referring him to his mother, to his father, even to his mother, because he's so connected with his mother. So we were visiting Mazyuna with this small song, you know, trying to tell her that we are with you, we are with Nasser. And we will continue being with you.
It's a very, very moving and humbling story, Munter, and thank you for sharing all of this. I mean, you've been in prison on more than one occasion, I think, and could you mentioned before when you were arrested and imprisoned for protesting about Ahad Tamimi and other Palestinian children who were detained by the Israelis, and you know, you were in prison for about 6 months, I think, and there was quite a large campaign, and there's some people here today who were involved in that, amongst social workers and Amnesty International and others. And you were, and Philippe Duarte is here, who was very important in that campaign. And can you tell us about the impact of knowing about that international solidarity on you while you were in prison?
Yeah. First, I want to thank you and thank Philip for that campaign, because it was something that even I did not dream to have such a campaign, because it does not affect me alone. As I told you, I was in separated prison. So they wrote about this campaign in an Israeli newspaper. So usually they are sending us an Israeli newspaper. So Marwan al-Barghouthi saw this article about the campaign, and he brought, you know, the newspaper to me. And Marwan al-Barghouthi is one of the most, you know, famous prisoners, Palestinian political prisoners in the Israeli jails. He spent till now more than 28 years in the Israeli jails. And he told me, come on there. I could not read Hebrew, but he knows. So he told me that they are writing about you and the campaign of the social workers. We have international campaign. They are asking to you release. So the idea of having this solidarity movement is very important for us as Palestinians, especially if we are speaking about the popular resistance. I would tell you alone we could not do it. It's an idea of fighting for justice. We don't want to throw the Jewish, as they are claiming, into the sea. It is an idea to throw the occupation into the sea. For me, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, whatever, we are fighting together the injustice. You know, I have very good Jewish friends who are supporting the Palestinian case in very, very good way, and they are part of the BDS campaign, and they are. Some of them was here and they were arrested. I don't know if you hear about Miko Beled. He was the son, Miko Beled, the son of the general. His father was a general in the Israeli army, but now he's with us. You know, I trusted him to be with us everywhere. I invited him to my house many times. It's not just Miko Beled, a lot of campaigns. So our idea that together we can do it. Alone,
thank you.
as Palestinians, they are putting us into the corners. They want us, you know, to use violence and to kill ourselves first, not to kill them, so as to show us as terrorists. It's not like that. I believe that we have the right to use all kinds of resistance. But since we agree to be part of the non-violence movement, I think we could not do it alone. It's the most important to be together. But even as the international community, the solidarity movement have to know that they can do so many things affecting us as Palestinians in very good way. To be together is one of the most important things, and giving us the power to continue our struggle so as to reach our goals.
Thank you. I mean, are there any particular things, any specific things that people could do? I mean, people ask us here, here in the UK, and what can we do?
Yeah.
And this question, what can we do? We're sort of focusing on it more and more. And I mean, people have put into the chat a few things already. People can donate, and I think the link for donating to Ida Camp is in the chat already. And people like Philippe and other social workers, the International Federation of Social Workers and the British Association can campaign on behalf of their fellow professionals, social workers in your case, who are imprisoned and so on. And there's lots of, so what can people do, Munter? Are there any particular things you'd like to say to us about that?
I would say so many things, but the most important, the first thing that we can do together, being part of the BDS campaigns. It's not an idea of killing people. It is as a strategy. One of the strategies of the non-violence movement is the BDS campaign, boycotting the occupation, so as to stop all these violence against the Palestinians in Gaza, in Nablus, in Bethlehem, in everywhere. BDS is one of the most effective clues that we are strategies that we are using, and we can do through the international community and the solidarity movement. Here in Palestine, I know that we have the Palestinian Authority, but they could not help themselves. We have so many farmers here that they are in need. We have so many ideas to do with them, to cultivate the land, to support them to be there. We have so many places that they are in need for tractors, for electricity, even for water. One of the most important things that I will tell you that we have done in South Hebron Hills, there are people who are living in caves. We help them with having solar cells to have electricity and to have water. This is part of the struggle. The struggle today on the land, how we can empower the people to be there and to be, to stand on their lands, to cultivate their land, to plant new trees in their land. So all these things, we have so many ideas to do. Behind the political thing that, as I told you, the BDS and having campaigns, specific campaigns with the prisoners, like we have our comrade Nidal Abu Akar, he's under the administrative detention, he's a social worker. This is like he spent at the first time 8 years, imagine 8 years under the administrative detention. And now he spent till now the second time like 1 year under the administrative detention because they have nothing against him. He's just an activist. So we have so many things to speak about, and we have so many ideas supporting our campaigns. But I have something even very important that happened newly. The EU they put the new conditions, even helping the NGOs in Palestine. part of these conditions consider the Palestinian struggle, even the non-violent struggle, considering the struggle as part of the terrorist actions. So, and we have campaign with that. I can send for you guys part of the campaign that we are doing. We have some documents in English even. If you know Badil organization, they have on their website some of the papers of the campaign, but I can send for all of you the papers of the campaign. Even if you want, as European, the EU, if you want to help the Palestinians, do not be like the USA, putting conditions that, like Yasser Arafat, one of our famous heroes and leadership, as a terrorist. Do not consider him as a terrorist. Abu Ali Mustafa, you know, they were part of the Palestinian struggle. So considering them as terrorists and you want to give me money, I don't want your money. So I think these things very important to help the people and to be part of these campaigns, putting pressure into the EU to stop the conditions that they are putting. If you want to have, any kind of projects through the EU, you have to sign these conditions. It is very important to help us to stop these conditions.
Thank you, Munta. Thank you. And if you send the information you just referred to, we can send it out to people on our mailing list.
I will send it.
Yeah. Well, Munta, thank you. It's 5:30 where I'm sitting in the UK. I think 7:30 in Palestine. It's around the time that we would normally got to meet these cafes to an end. I mean, there's not been I think questions in the chat have been mainly sort of drawn in, and you've referred to them. I know Brooke much earlier on putting a question about the reason why the reason the Israelis would give for the tear gas, and you mentioned the protest you made against the wall in the camp of making the hole in it, but you also said they're simply using tear gas to punish families of people who demonstrate. So thank you for sharing the stories that you've shared today, and the stories of the accounts of your non-violent resistance, your continuing struggle. I can't tell you how inspiring it is for us all to hear it. So thank you, Munta. People will be putting messages and comments into the chat, I'm sure, for the next couple of minutes. So thanks everyone for coming and for taking up this chance to hear, Munta talk and to hear about life and experiences in a refugee camp in Palestine. I think it's time now to bring this cafe to an end.